Agud Moed Rabboisai. Lili Nishma Simmy Schaer live from Chicago in a hotel on Chol Moed Pesach. Thank you for being here. Yisroel Koyach to all those that are live. Yisroel Koyach to all those that are here in the room. We have some very, very special emails here. I have a very, very important video that I got. Love it. But I decided I'm not going to show it now. During the email section, I'm going to show it on Amud Beis, Be'ezer Hashem. If not, you'll have to remind me on Amud Beis. Because I think it's so important that all those who don't watch the emails, they skip, they should be zoicha to see this video. So first of all, we have here a picture of Yaakov Berger in a safari on Pesach. Shmak, I don't know how he did it exactly, but he's there learning the daf in a safari on Pesach. Over here we have Shmuel Fein, this Donnie Fein's son. Mark, get some volume going here. The excitement of when you're on the highway. I don't know if you can hear me. Go, show it.
Geschmack to do the daf. Geschmack to do the daf. Geschmack to do the daf.
Okay, so it's such excitement when you see somebody that has that magnet, that's another MD wire. It's like, wow, it's on the highway in Eretz Yisrael, and there's a lot of traffic on the highway, and you're able to go, it's Geschmack to the daf. Or like you're in America, in the Five Towns, you see that guy with that, it's Geschmack Moed. I was at the airport, and I see a car with a magnet, with the MDY magnet. So I go over to the car to say, oh, Shalom, and it's the guy's daughter. So like, awkward. Like, okay, tell your father. Eli Stefansky said hello. Okay, I was like, oh, finally I see a car with a magnet. Boys, here we go. Not this one. Hold on, let me get there. So we don't have to. Oh. So we have three gewaldige emails here. So first of all, here's three emails from around the world that I received this morning. This one is from Nuri Dwek from Italy. Hi, Rebelli. I want to thank you for all you do and to let you know that also here from Italy we listen to your shiurim. I wanted to say Chag Kasher V'Sameach. Ciao. Then we have a moededike email. Which one is it? Yes. Dear Rebelli, subject, a message of appreciation. With immense gratitude and joy, I want to express my deepest appreciation to you and the entire MDY family. Today marks an extraordinary milestone. 1,000 daf without missing a single day. Here, Rabbi Isai, without missing a single day. Very few people could say that. 1,000 days straight. The journey has been nothing short of life-changing, says Harry Perel. Rebelli, thank you for your dedication, your energy, and your endless love for Torah and for each of us. Through your shiurim, you haven't only taught the daf, you've opened hearts, built a worldwide family, and transformed lives, mine included. Because of MDY, Torah has become a daily anchor, a source of strength, joy, and connection. I'm forever grateful. Here's to many more milestones together, Be'ezer Hashem, Agud Moed, Harry Perel, Antwerp. So we have Italy and Antwerp. And finally, we have from Gibraltar, it's 1:39 a.m. What's going on here? It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here in Gibraltar. And thanks to you and official, my 13-year-old son Avromi and myself have just completed our third daf in one day. They learned 3 daf Rabbi Yisai to catch up. This is an incredible achievement for both of us. Additionally, Avromi is so happy that he's already completed his first full parak of the Gemara. I want you to know that he's asked me many amazing questions throughout your shiurim, like why couldn't the Baal Hasra be one of the witnesses, and if the Baal Aveira saw both witnesses, would that cause them to combine, etc. Finally, and this I've said many times, including to Danny Fine, who saw his son Shmueli like waving the thing in the car. because Danny Fine learns with his father. He talks in learning. He said since his father started the daf, they have a whole nother conversation. Finally, the quality time you're enabling us to have together is so incredibly special, and I'm eternally grateful to you. That's why the Gadta Lebincha, that whole program that they're doing in London, that father learns with son, and son learns with father, and his son-in-law, etc. B'Yididus, Simon of Rami, Shisha, Gibraltar, kind regards, Shimon, Simon, Givaldik. What else do we have for today? Or that's it? That's it. The mesechta is sponsored by anonymous Hatzlacha B'Parnasa is Yisroel Cherns in honor of my chavrisa Shmueli Unger, Szlafrok Family in memory of their uncle Simmy Schaer, Simcha Yisrael Naftali Tzvi A. Anonymous, may our learning bring us closer to one another and to Hashem. The monthly sponsors: Hatzlacha B'Parnasa, Birevach for Baruch Nissim ben Shoshana Leah and Yoni Klestzick, Refuah Shelamah, Yehudit Brayna, Refua. Kollel sponsors for the month. Thank you to Rebelli's wife and kids for the great sacrifices they make, allowing you to spread Torah to the masses. Weekly sponsor, anonymous, in honor of my first completed mesechta, doing Daf Yomi, Mazel Tov, many more. Daily sponsors, anonymous, Refuah Shelamah, L'chol Choli Am Yisrael, and safe return of all hostages and for Parnasa. Amen. Mordechai Sepaznik, in honor of Rebelli, for his consistency on giving the Daf Yomi shiurim every day, even over Yontev. And for Mark Ashkenazi, who's helping Rebelli make this happen. Mark, Yishkoyach, Bemet, Yishkoyach. I know he's on the way on a trip with his mishpacha, and he might even be in a car now. I don't know. He told me it's going to be difficult for him to do this, but somebody has to do it, and he jumped in and he did it. Apologies to his wife and children. Anonymous, Lilishmas, Yaakov Tzvi ben Avram Radin, who was nifter on 18th of Nisan. The Omer is Tefer Shebachesed, describes him and his life. By Michael Chessel from Florida, our alligator buddy. Refuah Shelamah for my Ashes Chayil. Yehudit Leah, Basara Chavo is having a surgery today. Refuah Shelamah. She ate by our house. Both of them ate by us. I know who she is. Refuah Shelamah. Anonymous. Schus for Goldie, Moshe, Shoshana, and Eliza. Amen. Alan Dana, Lilu Nishmas, Moshe Chaim ben Mordechai. By Innovations LC, thank you to Rebelli and Eli Stefansky for your amazing kindness. Thank you, Mark, as usual. Innovations LC, Shkoyach. And Rabbi Isai, this is a reminder for Sfir Soimer. Perhaps by the time you see this, it'll be this day. If not, if you're watching this live, today is Shloisha Yomim Ba'Imer. Depends on what day you are, where you are. In Eretz Yisrael, I just did a shir live in Eretz Yisrael. It was this day. I don't want to say it exactly, but yeah. Did I say the joke yesterday? I don't remember saying it in English. That a guy says to his friend, could you be moed to me? I didn't do Sfir Soimer. So, well, you already missed on the first day? He says, I got you. I got you to say first day. Now, I have to be moed to you. Okay, it's terrible. The Art of the Month. MDY Kids Monthly, sponsored by Innovations, Schus Official, Elchonon, Akiva, Rivki, and Mrs. Stefansky. And the Art of the Month, Refuah Shelamah for Yonatan Eitam and Bethsheba, Bracha, in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Okay. Rabbi Isai, here we go. We're a little bit behind because I had to go to Ma'ariv, and we're holding like 8 lines from the bottom of Daf Amud Beis. Hakol Goylon Adei Yisrael. Everybody has to go to Golos if they kill a Jew, and if a Jew kills anybody, the Jew goes to Golos. Besides the Ger Taishav. Hakol Goylon Adei Yisrael Asui Yimai. What does it mean? What does it come to include? Hakol. Usually, with the word Hakol comes to include something, like we had yesterday. The Gemara said, if kol in the beginning means to include, so then the sefer has to mean to include, but it usually includes something. Lasuye eved v'kusi, it comes to include a slave and a kusi. Kusi, these are the people that pretended to be Jews, and Yeshua brought them into Klal Yisrael. Then it turns out they weren't, and later on they started doing avodah zarah. They were bad guys. Says the Gemara, Tani Lord Torah Baron eved v'kusi goy leveloik adei Yisrael. A slave and a kusi go to Golos and they get Malkus. So we're going to have to see What's this Malkus business? In what situation is the reverse? Yisroel goyle veloika ayidei kusi ve'eved. And a Jew also goes to Gullus because of a slave, and because, in other words, if a Jew kills a kusi or a slave, he must go to Gullus. And he also gets Malkus. In what situation does he get Malkus? Asks the Gemara. Bishloima eved v'kusi. Yisroel goyle veloika ayidei kusi ve'eved. I don't want to miss any words. I'm going back for a second. I understand that a slave and a kusi, they go to Golos, Goyla the Katli. What happened? He killed a Jew, a Eved, slave, or a kusi killed a Jew. He has to go to Golos. Veloika, and how does a slave or a kusi go to get Malkus? The Latye, he cursed the Jew. Eli Yisroel goyla veloika alidei kusi. How does it work? The opposite. Bishlami goyla the Katli. If a Jew killed Eved, fine, he goes to Golos. But why would a Jew ever get Malkus? Because he cursed a slave. It's only when you curse a high priest, a nasi. We always learn it has to be somebody that does all the mitzvahs like a yid, somebody that's not a kusi, who doesn't do the mitzvahs, and you curse him, you don't get Malkus. What happened was that the Jew lied. The Jew said that the slave or the kusi are chayiv malchus. He made up a story that they ate a nevela and you chayiv malchus. Then we find out you weren't even diri manu yisim. You were on a cruise ship. You lied. You Jew lied. So you Jew have to get malchus. So the Gemara, how could that be? Let's reverse it. That's how the Jew gets malchus. And how does the slave get malchus? He did the same thing. The slave went and lied that the Jew ate treif, nevela, and we found out that the slave was on a cruise ship with his owner. But that's not true, it can't be. There was a hazama, Eved Bareida, so could a slave testify? No, he can't. How does a Jew get malchus? He gets malchus if he hits a slave and he caused less damage than a pruta. Because if he caused more damage than a pruta, then you would have to pay the pruta. You would have to pay the $5, the $6, whatever the cut cost. That's how much he would have to pay. But since and you don't get malchus because you only get one of the two. If there's two inchim, you get one. But since it was less than a pruta, so there's no money, there's no monetary loss, so he gets malchus. It's a fascinating thing. You hear? If somebody causes like $1 worth of damage, less than $1, 35 cents worth of damage, whatever it is, less than a pruta, he would get 39 malchus. They would beat him until he almost dies. 39 malchus. But if he gave a little bit more of a zetz, which is a 65-cent makkah, he would have to pay 65 cents and he would get out of the 39 malchus. I think it's fascinating. Says the Gemara, Daf Tes Amud Aleph on top. The Omer Reb Ami, Omer Reb Yochanan, says Reb Yochanan, he koa koshem mashav pruta loika. If you hit somebody less than a pruta, you get malchus. There's a question that I might have not asked here in this mesechta. Question I ask many people, and most people that I ask that don't do the daf, they fail. What happens when you hit another Jew? Let's say two yeshiva guys get into a fist fight. They punch each other. They scratch each other. What happens halachically? Is it an Isser? Is it Isser the Rabbanon or Isser the Raisa? I think a lot of people don't know this, and if they knew it, they wouldn't be doing what they do. The Isser is Isser the Raisa, Pen Yosef. And the punishment is Malchus. You get Malchus if there's Asra. Somebody said, do not hit him, because if you take revenge and you hit him, you'll get Malchus, and you don't listen, you do it, you get Malchus. I don't think people realize the severity of hitting another Jew. I wish I knew it when I was younger, because I had a little bit more than one fight in my life. Zog the Gemara. Omer Rav Kahana. Sorry. V'loi makshinan, says the Gemara, 3 lines from the top. V'loi makshinan akal klala. There's no comparison, there's no hekesh between hitting and cursing, because if there was, there's no malchus for a cursing of the Eved and the Kusi. But and if there was, since there isn't, so and you made a kakesh, so even if you hit him, it should be the same thing as cursing. But there is no comparison. So that's why you get malchus for hitting a slave less than a pruta. Next sugya. It says in the Mishnah, Chutz ma'al yidei ger toishav. A ger toishav, I explained yesterday, is someone who accepts upon himself, a goy who accepts upon himself not to do avodah zarah. Some say that it's this. It's somebody that accepts upon himself the 7 mitzvahs of Bnei Noach, which are to remember, it's avodah zarah. Here, you want this? You can see over here. Avodah zarah, gilui arayim, shvichas damim. And then, in order to remember the rest, you just have to remember Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daled, which is Ever Menachai, Birkas Hashem, cursing Hashem, Gezel, and Dayana. Some say it's that. Now, from the fact that the Mishnah says that if somebody, if you kill a ger toishav, it has a different halacha. Chutz mi ger toishav, you don't go to galus for it. Says Gemara, Alma ger toishav over the kachavim. It seems like from our Mishnah that a ger toishav, at the beginning of the Mishnah at least, seems like that a ger toishav, somebody accepts upon himself not to do avodah zarah, he has a halacha of a goy. Ask the Gemara, but we have a problem. A mesechta, ger toishav, goylai de ger toishav. A goy, fascinating. Another unbelievable halacha. Just for that, you came to the shir today. It was kedai. Beis Hashem, right around the corner, Mashiach is going to come, and Klal Yisrael is going to rule Eretz Yisrael. What happens if an Arab kills another Arab? What's the halacha? The halacha is that he dies in a Jewish court. What happens if an Arab kills another Arab by mistake? He was texting while he was driving, and he killed another Arab in a car accident. What's the halacha? He dies. Even if he kills b'shoigig, he dies in the Jewish court. Fascinating halacha. So says the Gemara, we say, oh, it's a ger toishav. Goylai, they ger toishav. But a ger toishav, somebody accepts upon himself, or not to do avodah zarah, has to go galus, has to go to galus. We just said that a goy doesn't go to galus. So we have a contradiction in our mission. Is a ger toishav considered a Jew or a goy? On the one hand, he goes to galus, on the other hand, he doesn't. When does he go to galus? Is when one ger toishav kills another. But when a ger toishav kills a Jew, then he doesn't go to galus. Why not? Because it's too severe. You hear, sometimes you go to galus when it's very light, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't go to galus if it's too light. Sometimes you don't go to galus when it's too severe. You go to galus when it's right in between. It's a shoygi. But if it's a shoygi karav le'oinus, it's like almost like a oinus. You didn't know nothing. There's no way for you to. Then you don't go to galus. Like, let's say, killing somebody in your own backyard. We say you don't go to galus. On the other hand, if it's too severe, if you're a ger toishav, you accept a guy, but you accept upon yourself not to do avodah zarah, you kill a Jew, you don't go to galus. Why? Because it's too severe. We don't want galus to save you. Now we have the same sugya, easy shmizi, so almost like a freebie. Same idea. Some people say this answer on a contradiction in the psukim. It says that even a ger toishav, a ger vila toishav, it seems like one of them is a ger toishav. Tiyena sheishaharim, there is galus for a ger toishav. So one pasuk says mefurish, there's galus for a ger toishav. It says in the pasuk, only you have these cities for galus and not a ger toishav. Which one is it? When a ger kills a Jew, then he does have galus. But when a ger toishav kills a Jew, there's no galus. We said it's too severe. When a ger toishav kills another ger toishav, there is galus. Ask the Gemara question. V'remini, contradiction. Now this Bryce is talking about a ben noach that was over on one of the 7 mitzvahs of Bnei Noach. One of these. Rabbi say even in Bishoigeg, he killed somebody by mistake, he gets misa, it says over here. If they kill somebody even by mistake, they die. Now, yeah, obviously, if a guy's in a car accident that had nothing to do with him, some person swerved right in front of him and he killed him, and he's a guy, he doesn't die for that. That's karv le'oinus, and he won't die. We're talking about he could have prevented it maybe. If he would have looked into it, he could have driven a little safer. In that case, he does die. It it says that a ger toishav is similar to a goy. By a goy, it doesn't matter if he kills another goy or kills a Jew. Regardless, he always dies. Avger, so by ger toishav also, doesn't matter if he killed another ger toishav, and even if he killed a non-Jew, a Jew, he's also killed. So we have a kasha on Rav Chisda. See that he does that. Rav Chisda kasha. Kan sha'arogi derech yirida, kan sha'arogi derech aliyah. Do me a favor, pass me that piece of paper over there. Yeah. Givaldik, thank you. I'd like to show you. This is my Rebbe. This is Dr. Friedman, my shver. He gives a beautiful Daf Yomi here in the hotel. All Yom Tov, and he gives also in Chicago on Shabbosim. So this is how he did Aliyah V'Yirida. Remember, we had the butcher. I had the special butcher knife, and there's 5 motions. I liked the fact he taught me how to do drawings in a shear. I took it from him. 65 people were at Boisai on YouTube. I'm not sure if there's Zoom now. So Yishkoyach for all you guys on Chalamoid, 65 people. It's an unbelievable thing. Mark, I thought you said you're going to go on a little vacation with your mishpacha. Fine. Can't control yourself, huh? We're a little later. I love this, and my shver's older brother, because this hotel, 31 years, I've been here 31 years ago. 4 years ago we started in this hotel, but 31 years in this program. We were 20, I don't know what the math is, 27 years, let's say, in Palatine, and then we came to this hotel. They sold that hotel, and they came to this hotel, also a family hotel. 31 years, I think I missed 1 or 2 years. 1 year I was in Eretz Yisrael for sure, and another year when we were in America, we took a break. But 31 years, time flies, it's crazy. So his older brother who was here in the hotel told me, listen, I didn't understand the sugi so well. I went on your shir and I loved it. This is a phenomenal description of the 5 motions. You go down in order to get more momentum to go up. So this is a downward motion, you're chayiv galus. This is the upward motion, and it's all continuous, but we're slowing it down here. There's the upward motion. If you killed somebody in the green, you are potter, but you continue going back down behind your shoulder, you are chayiv, it's a downward motion. Then you start swinging upward, you are potter, it's green, and finally the final zetz. So it says, Rav Chisda, no, you don't understand. There's a derech yirida and a derech aliyah. Derech yirida, on the downward motion, you're chayiv galos. You ask me contradiction, kan shorgi derech aliyah, you are potter. So we're going to go into it. Why is derech aliyah? Why are you potter? Kum tzarayin, I was just talking about you. Hold on, let me. I'll show. Even though this is dangerous, hold on. Say shalom aleichem to the island. This is Dr. Free. I was just showing your beautiful art.
It's very clear.
It's very, very clear. It is. I wasn't making fun. I told the Olam that you're my Rebbe. You taught me years ago. I remember that you used to do the arts. I said I got to incorporate it into this year. It's givaldik. Dr. Friedman, he's going to learn Torah. Look, he came to bring his Gemara. Look, Rabbi Isai went to go chap the Gemara. He's going to learn Torah. Givaldik. It's the beauty of doing the shir in a hotel. We could do things on the side, talk about other people. Givaldik. So, Mark, you having an it's geschmack. This shir came in to learn Torah. Givaldik. Where are we? So, Derech Yerida the Yisrael Gali, Iu Nami Sagile Begalos. Well, only smack in the middle of the Amud, almost a few lines below the middle part, the middle section. So watch out. It's shaking. When it's a Jew going downwards and he kills somebody, he goes to Galus. So too, a Ger Toishav going downwards, he goes to Galus. Derech Aliyah, listen to this. This is going to be very interesting. How do we understand this? When I put it back down, I see the bottom is straighter and the top is straighter. Before the bottom was a little crooked and the top was straight. For some reason, by going to my shver did a ness here and it's all lined up. Okay. So says the Gemara, But by a Jew, when you go upwards, you're potter. So a ger toshav, he goes upwards, it's going to be chayiv misa. Says Rava, it makes no sense what you just said. Omar lei Rava v'lav kavachaymaru. The opposite. Umaderech yirida the Yisrael gali. Iu nami sagale begalos. When a Jew goes downwards, we just said he goes to Golos, and the ger toshav goes to Golos. Derech aliyah, the Yisrael potter, when he goes upwards, it's so shvach, it's not a real killing, it was a real mistake. The Jew doesn't go to Golos. You, Nerag, you're going to kill the Ger Toshav? Send him to Golos. In other words, Rav is saying that when you go upwards, it's Karev La'aynes. Let me just remind Oila, there's two things here. There's a Shaygeg, which is Karev La'aynes. It's inadvertent, it's a mistake, but it's such a mistake that it's literally like a Aynes. I went like this. I'm supposed to know that guy's standing behind me. Downwards, I see. That's why he says, Rav, it makes no sense that you should kill a ger toshav for that. No. I have something that's a oines, which is karev lemezid. This is a bad one. This one is like driving a car and talking and texting, and your head is down, and somebody crosses the street and you hit them. That's almost deliberate. It's inadvertent, which is almost deliberate. And Memela, what is it called? I wrote it down, what it's called in English. Criminally negligent manslaughter. So there's negligent, there's involuntary manslaughter, criminally negligent. There's different gedarim even in America. So I'm not exactly sure which one is what. Involuntary manslaughter, I get. It's invalid. It's a shaygig. But this criminally negligent, to me, it's mashma. I don't know. I didn't look at. It's mashma that he was. He could have been more careful and he was negligent. That's what it seems like. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But if not, it's a good term. It's a good terminology for this. He says, Rava, I have something. When a guy says bo'emer mutter, he says, "Oh, I thought you're allowed to kill. I thought you're allowed to kill. I didn't know you're not allowed to kill." He says, Rava, no. That's, what do we say it's called? Not knowing the law. The law.
Ignorance.
I forgot what you wrote that time. Okay. Not negligence. EED of the law. Let's see what he writes real quickly. Ignorance of the law. Right. Ignorance of the law. So the guy gets pulled over by the cop. And he says, why don't you yield to the traffic? He goes, I didn't know that's the law. So the cop tells him, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So the guy tells him, but I didn't even know that law. That law I also didn't know. Okay, but ignorance of the law is no excuse, says Rava, and that's karev lemezid. That makes you almost negligent completely. So what do you mean he's negligent? He didn't know. He's a nebach. He's a tinik shenishba. He didn't know that you're not allowed to kill. It's like somebody that says, "Oi, I didn't know that chodesh is aser. I didn't know. Nobody told me." So is that? I grew up in society where chodesh is mamish a joke. I'm just kidding. Chas v'shalom. Oi memudaanosu. When a person says, I'm ignorant of the law, that's karev lemezid. I argue with you, Abaya. Says the Gemara, each one goes according to their own shita, Robin, Rav Chizda, the Itmar. It's referring to a ger toshav over here. If a person thinks he's shooting an animal, but he ends up shooting a person. What person? What person are we talking about? We're talking about another ger toshav. He thought he's shooting an animal and it turns out to be a person. He thought he's shooting a Knani and it turns out he's more than a Knani, he's better than a Knani. He's someone accepted upon himself Sheva mitzvahs and or not to do Avodah Zarah. Rava says no, it's negligent. Why? Just like I say, if a person is ignorant of the law, he is guilty. So too, when a person didn't look into who he's shooting, he should have been a lot more careful. You can't say, I was hunting and he looked like an animal. You got to be more careful before you pull that trigger. Shmueli Unger says, listen to this, Rabbi Isai. He says that if a person doesn't learn a daf Gemara that day, he's a behemoth. So it's a new pshat in the sugya. When a person shoots a behemoth, why is he a behemoth? He thought that he's a guy that doesn't do the daf. Benimtza Adam. But it turns out he learns the Daf Yomi and he did the daf. He's the Adam. Terrible pshat. Okay. We're on a roll today. Rabbi Isai, Moed the Pshatim. So Rav Chisda argues on Rav and he says, no. I say in the other case, when a person is ignorant of the law, it is an excuse. And therefore, when you shoot what seems to you to be an animal, and it's really a human being, that's also a good excuse. Rabbi Isai, I got to do charata here. I just found the Taisus today. I didn't know this Taisus when we learned the sugi before. Unfortunately, this Taisus wasn't there, so I said the wrong pshat according to this Taisus. Says Taisus, I just highlighted. He asked a question of Yishleimar. Remember when I said, this is like Dick Cheney shooting his friend in the face, he thought he's an animal? Says Taisus, no, Eli, you didn't learn good pshat over there. Over there, the pshat is there was a human being standing next to an animal. He aimed at the animal and his aim was off and it went to the... Exactly. Yesterday, my son Akiva Simcha took my other son shooting. He has a license. And they went, a few of the adults here that have a license, you're allowed to bring one person into the gun range that doesn't have a license. So they took my other son. So I asked Akiva Simcha, I said, how's your shot? How is it? He says, listen, do not stand next to the guy I'm trying to shoot. That's what he said. Do not stand next to the guy I'm trying to shoot. Over here, he stood next to the animal this guy was trying to shoot, says Taisus. There's two. There's an animal and there's a human being, and he's trying to shoot the animal and he hit the human being. Not like I said pshat that he tried to shoot an animal, but in the animal is not an animal, it's a human being. He thought it's an animal, but it was a human being. So he says that's the pshat in our sugya. So I have to do charata. I didn't see it over there on the mefarshim, so I didn't chop it. The Leah Mariki going to behema va'adam lefanav and iskaven lebehema va'arag adam. Avalach in our sugya shloisa daven iskaven. It was one target. It just happens to be that it wasn't a human being. It was an animal. It wasn't an animal. It was a human being. Oh, and that's why it says Taisves mishum hachika amar rava shu korban lemezid. That's considered. Look at my shver's brother. Hold on. Say hello. Another Talmud Chacham. I mentioned you also that you liked my
your diagram,
the butcher diagram. That's right. Yishkoyach. So you're going to learn chavrisa with the shver?
Yeah.
Givaldik. Now I'm going to put it back. It's not going to be so straight. Let's see. No. Oh, this is better. That's the mistake. Oh no, not so much better. This is crooked. Okay. No. The shver had special touch. You see now that the wood on the bottom is crooked. Let's see if I could fix it real quickly. That's better. Okay. Zogding among. Where are we holding? Oh, Rabbi Glock is here. He knows where we're holding. Ace v'Rav Rav Chisda, 5 lines from the bottom. Ask Rav to Rav Chisda. It says by Abimelech when he took Sarah away from Avram, Sakush Baruch tells him, "Hincha meis ala isha shelakachta." You're going to die because you took this woman, and it was a mistake. He didn't know that she's married. Avram Avinu told him, "It's my sister." My labidei eldam. So you see that even a guy gets misa when he does such a mistake. You're wrong, Rav Chisda. Law, he says, Rav Chisda, no. B'dei shomayim. You don't get punished in court. You get punished by Kodesh Baruch Hu. They cannot mean li. You sin to me, Hashem. You sin to me, not to the court. Says Rava v'tamech v'chatasi lelikim. Yosef says, I don't want to sin here. Not this one, sorry. This one. And Rabbi says, I'm the greatest in this house, says Yosef to Potiphar. How can I do this? This terrible sin. The sin to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So over there, of course, the court is going to punish him for being over Zish. So it's not just Takash Baruch to the court. It must be that this is something that the court is going to go after, but it means it's a sin to Hashem that the court is going to take over. You can't prove to me from this pasuk, says Rav Chisda. Yes, it says li, sin to me, but the court will take over and punish him. Avimelech tells Akash Baruch Hu, what do you want from me? You told me, did I show this pasuk before? I don't know if I put it on the screen. If not, here it is for a second. But here's the pasuk. He lied to me. He fooled me, says Avimelech. Avram told me Sarah is his sister. When I asked her, Achiyu, she said, it's my brother. But time Levavi, I was completely innocent. It seems like Akash Baruch Hu agreed with him. So even though it was a mistake, he doesn't get punished. He says, Rav, no, it's not true. Akash Baruch Hu did not agree with Avimelech. Because Akash Baruch Hu told Avimelech, let's look at the Lashon. It's a very funny Lashon. Akash Baruch Hu says, give back Sarah, which one was it? 73 people, Shalom Aleichem, on YouTube. Akash Baruch says, give her back because he's a Navi. Wait a minute. If she's Eshes Ish, give her back regardless. Navi, not Navi. Any Eshes Ish. What's the answer? Eshes Navi who did the Hadr, you should only give back Eshes Navi because he's a Navi. The Lav Navi, Lav Hadr, and if she's not a Navi, you don't have to give her back. You have to explain what Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachmani says on Rabbi Yonasan. And never really said, definitely you have to give back because she's Eshes Ish. And then you came to me with a taina that Avram lied to me, tricked me. No. He didn't trick you. Navihu. He's a person who understands things. And he learned from you. When a person comes, he's your guest. What's the first thing you should ask a guest? Are you thirsty? Do you need a cup of water? Do you need to eat something? You start asking about Arayas, she's your wife, your sister, who cares about that stuff? He chapped right away, he was dealing with Avram Avinu. That's why he had to lie. He knew that if he doesn't lie, he'll get killed. You see that there's a taina on Avimelech. He's a Ben Noach and he dies for something like this, for making that mistake. Why? What should have he learned? He should have learned derech eretz, he should have learned how to act. This is how you act. When a guy shows up in your shul after a long trip, you don't ask him, hey, are you Yisroel or Kain? You ask him, do you want to drink? That lack of learning from derech eretz is what caused them to be chayiv misa. Rabbi Isai, Daf Amud Beis is sponsored by Dar Global, one-stop shop for all your financial needs. Innovations LLC in honor of our sons Kalmo and Yisroel, who I met yesterday. Learning Sanhedrin and Makkos with the Rebelli. Big thing, I got to tell you, I gave money to Yisroel because Kalmo made $1,000 or so for learning Sanhedrin. But Kalmo was only 9 years old. He wasn't eligible, so I gave him $100. He's very, very excited. Then I felt bad. I said, okay, if I see him again, I want to give Kalmo something. So what if he got $1,000? I don't want him to be upset that he didn't get anything. It's chaval. I have to remember next time. In honor of Adar Global and Innovations, true role models of how to support the Daf and learning Yisher Koyach. And now we're going to go back to Daf. Here, I want to show you this amazing video. What's amazing about this video? 1 second before you go on. I've been dreaming about this. I wish that the entire MDY would be like this video. Basically, a bunch of small groups on WhatsApp that everybody looks out for each other. Over here we have a tzaddik, Rabbi Yoel Apple, something like that. We'll see his name in a second. Basically, he started a group. He recruited 20 people to the daf, 20. And each one became his achrayas. He made sure that every single one of these people does the daf every day. And he's going to show you how he does it. And Rabbi Isai, I think every single person can do this. We should all go out and do this. We just started in Makkos. It's starting very slow. We have a lot of hiccups and a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Be'ezer Hashem, some of you are going to get groups today, tomorrow. It's happening slowly. But if you could be an initiator like this tzaddik, made his own scene with his own guys, and he has his own website now, his own magnet stickers, his own logo, crazy. It's mamish to learn from. Rabbi Yisai, get chizuk from this guy. You could do it if he does it. This is what I'm saying. People are innovating and making the daf better and more interesting. Everybody has the opportunity to add. Every single person. Here's a guy, we would have never known about him, but because Nisano, the chesed of MDY, Nisano Gans, went through terrible zets. Right before Yom Tov, his whole house burnt down. Not even his cell phone was saved, garnished, just his PJs. So guys from MDY got together and they raised money for him. Yes, I understand his insurance, I get it. No, he needed money now, and they got him a Pesach at the Armon Hotel, the same hotel that we did the Shabbaton. And he met this tzaddik. Just for that, it was worth the $15,000. I don't know how much the Pesach cost. Something like that. Just for that, it's kedai. For us to see this and to give chizuk to the whole shir. How one individual could change the lives of 20 people. And I want to show you that the people on the group, they had a karas hatoiv to him. They got him a gift. Check this out. Mark, whatever you're ready.
I'm in the Armon Hotel. I met a Yiddish for a Vach. What's your name?
I'm Yisroel Cherns.
Okay, Yoni Klestzick. And Lamaisa, he came to show me something amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Explain what you're showing me here.
So first of all, I started Kaddish in Daf Beis, and then I started to recruit people.
Okay.
Baruch Hashem, I recruited a total of 20 people to Yeshir.
Wow.
We opened up a WhatsApp group.
Go. Look at the title. Go to the title.
First of all, we made this is our group name.
Look at the logo. Click on the logo. MDY subdivision. Mamish amazing. Go ahead.
And we have 20 members. Everyone needs
Ari Abramowitz recently joined the Shir.
Everyone needs to report every day with the sticker.
Look at this. Look at this. 365. Looks amazing.
Now we also made a sticker to put on the car. And this is every day.
Look at videos. 20 people, and you recruit them, and you're getting them to join, and you check them every day. And after the Yom Tov,
we made a poll. So everyone should report if they learned all 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, but Rebelli, don't put it on the sheet, please.
Okay, fine.
So I sent him a private message. I said, please let me put it on the shir. I'll give chizuk to people in a second. He said, no problem. Go ahead. A lot of people are shy and a lot of people don't want to be out there. And I say all the time, over and over, by you showing your face, by you showing this video, if even one more group opens up like this, one more group, why wouldn't you show your face? It's kedai. And everybody said, check this out. This is what they bought him as a gift. Or one person, I don't know who got it for him. Beautiful. You know that every letter costs money to engrave. Minchas bikurim what does it say here? Yehudit? Something. I can't see it. I don't see the other yud, but okay. Harav agoyin Rabbi Yeshua Epel shlita. Lo yisakor v'akor satoy al shois limud atoyer shel modis b'schuscha v'al limud l'chaim sha'atoyer ya'ikir, to a life that the Torah is the ikir. There's a guy on the group that this is the very first time he made a siyum. I think this is the guy that gave this. He had a koras atoyev, and here's the siyum Rabbi Yisai. Not stam with the wine, the whole thing. This is what I'm talking about. Breaking down MDY from 35,000 people to 20 people, to 50 people. It's a group, it's a matzav. Here's the gift that you see in the background, the gift over there. Here. I don't know. Okay, not now. But on the right top corner, you can see the gift. Okay. Gewaldig. Rabbi Yisai, check this out. If you open up a group, the Olam is going to buy you presents, not the Magachir presents. That's the way it works. He becomes the Rosh Chabura. He's the guy that's pushing you to do the daf. He says, if you don't do, he sends you a message. 20 guys, it's not a big deal. 20 guys, everybody should try to do it. Unbelievable. It gives me a tremendous chizuk. And there's so many other things that can be done. And Be'ezer Hashem, people are going to come up with other brilliant ideas, and it'll just help, with all within the daf. It's unbelievable. Says the Elohim Mishnah Sumei Goylam. Where are we holding time? Oive. We gotta move. Hasu me'ina goyla, divri Rabbi Yehuda. Tzaddik, be careful. The table. Hasu me'ina goyla. A blind person doesn't go into Golos. Machloikis, divri Rabbi Yehuda. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Me'oimer goyla. Rabbi Meir says, no. A blind person goes to Golos. Hasoyne ina goyla. The example that I said is Putin. He killed a guy, whatever his name was, the guy that was the head of the mercenaries over there, and he shot down his plane. He's an enemy. And then he said, no, it was a mistake. Guy, by mistake. Sometimes a missile just hits private planes as they're flying through the sky. So a guy like that doesn't go to Golos. It's obvious that you killed him. Rabbi Yossi says, no. Not only do you not go to Golos, but if you're an enemy, you get killed. That's like somebody that did it deliberately. Depends. We have to look at the situation. And the Gemara is going to explain. Anybody that could say that we say that he did it on purpose, ain't a goyla. If there's a chance that it was on purpose, no golos, he did it on purpose. But if it's a complete accident, let's say as the Gemara is going to say, there's a bunch of bricks on a rope, and the rope tore in the middle. That you didn't do that. Harei Zagoyl in that case, and you claim that it was a shaygig, we'll believe you and you go to Golos. Easy Gemara now. Torah Rabbanan B'leira Ois Prat L'Suma. When it says in the Torah you didn't see, it means. But if somebody can't see at all, then he doesn't go to Golos. Divrei Yehuda. Rebbe Oimer B'leira Ois L'Rabbi says L'Suma. I take the same pasuk Fakeret. It says that you should go to Golos. How? My time at the Rebbe Yehuda. Says the Gemara, it says that he went into a forest and there was a shaygig, right? That whole case with the axe and the wood, it was in the forest. So that includes afilu suma, even a blind person. Also, and then the Torah says, no, he didn't see mate. So we take off. The forest includes everybody. Let's take off one type of person, a blind person. Meir, you're right. B'leirois means lamayet. The problem is b'vlidas lamayet. We have a second pasuk that says that. What's this? I have a second pasuk that says that you have to know, and if you're blind, you don't know. That says believe das. So what's the rule? The rule is have a miyut achamiyut. Anytime you have a double negative is a positive. B'miyut achamiyut el rabbis. Rabbi Yehuda, he says you're right. Rabbi Yehuda says you're 100% right. A double negative is a positive, but b'vli das, that pasuk problem skavenu also that we already established the other day. That it comes to exclude somebody that does it on purpose, doesn't go to Golos. If you're an enemy, you die. New sugya. Ask the Gemara, enemy, why? Yeah, it's true. Nisan is saying a good thing. I just saw on the says. It says, listen, if 70, 80 people are watching live, and there was only an hour notice or so, because we only decided now to do the shir early, what would happen if people in Chalamoid knew about the shir? He's a good taina. He's always working for the shir, always working. As soon as I said that, it dropped to 67 people. Says Gemara, where's the hasra? Where's Putin's hasra? Putin shot down the plane. Who gave him hasra? Says Gemara, according to Rabbi Yehuda, he doesn't need hasra. Why? Mastis Rabbi Yehuda, he decided Rabbi Yehuda. Oimer chave ein tzarich hasra. A Talmud Chacham doesn't need hasra. Talmud Chacham doesn't mean a Talmud Chacham. It can be a Rosh Marusha like Putin. Somebody that knows what he's doing doesn't need Asra. The whole point of Asra is only to warn somebody between a Shogeg and a Mezid. You know exactly what you're doing. What's the case of an enemy that you go in Golos, and what's the case of an enemy you don't go to Golos? Depends. Nifsak Goyla, if the rope broke in middle, then you go to Golos. Nishmat, but it fell out of his hand, then Goyla, Rabbi said, let's see what we have here. I have two pictures. This is a guy holding a bunch of bricks in his hand and the rope. If the whole rope fell out of his hand and he has nothing left in his hand, obviously, and he sees his enemy below him, what happened? He let go. That's not a shaygig. He doesn't go to Golos. But if this is what happened, if the rope tore and he has something left in his hand, then he goes to Golos. So remember, Nifsa Goyla, Nishmatene Goyla. Now we're going to say the exact opposite. As the Gemara, you said this is Reb Shimon. V'tay Reb Shimon Omer, Reb Shimon himself says, Over here, this is the opposite. When the whole trowel falls out of his hand and hits somebody in the head and kills him, then you go to Golos. So falling out of your hand completely, you do go to Golos. We just said falling out of your hand completely, you don't go to Golos. And he says, Mefurish, you never go to Golos if the rope broke. The only time you go to Golos is if it came out of your hand completely. So it's a contradiction on both. Kasha nifsek, kasha nishmat and nishmat. Says Gemara, we have to be goris. Rashi and Tosfos are both goris here. Nishmat and nishmat loy kasha, haba'oyev haba'sayna. If you love the guy, you know the guy, and he died, you go to Golos. But if you're Putin, you're the enemy, and by mistake you killed him, there's no mistake with the enemy, you don't go to Golos. Nifsak and nifsak loy kasha. We have to be goris instead of nishmat and nishmat, right? You say nifsak and nifsak loy kasha. Ha-Rebbe, v'ha-Rabbana. Think about it. The pasuk of the Torah that describes the Golos is talking about a guy with an axe. He was chopping wood. And what happened? The metal hit something and that goes flying. In other words, something's left in your hand. Says Rebbe that if the metal part goes flying, that's no Golos. That's not what the pasuk is talking about. Says Rebbe, the pasuk is talking about when a piece of wood out of the tree goes flying. Remember? That's Rebbe. The depiction that we remember that the guy's chopping wood and the piece of metal hits the guy, that's not Golos. That's similar to holding something in your hand and the part of it breaks off. No Golos in that case. Rabbanan are the one that described the pasuk that the handle is stuck in his hand. And Mela, that is Golos. Says the Elegant Mishnah, Leichem Goylen, where do you do Golos? Lare Miklat. You have to go to a special city called Ir Miklat. There's many cities, 42, that are within other cities. But we had 6 special cities that are built just for Golos. Shalish Be'Iver HaYarden, 3 in Chutz La'aretz, Shalish Be'Eretz Canaan, and 3 in Eretz Yisrael. Shenemar Shalosh Harim Tidnu Me'Iver LaYarden, 3 in Chutz La'aretz, Shalish Harim Tidnu Be'Eretz Canaan, and 3 in Eretz Yisrael. Says the Mishnah, Shali Nivcharu Shalish Be'Eretz. So you have a total of 6. We could see the picture, so even though we need to use this for later on here, 3 in Eretz Yisrael, Hebron, Shechem, and Kedesh, and 3 in Chutz La'aretz, Golan, Ramot, and Betzer. Actually, Nivcharu Shalish Be'Eretz Yisrael, Lohiyu Shalish Be'Eretz. In Koltois, you need all 6 to be organized and ready to go. Then all 6 go. Shenemar Sheish Ari Miklot Tieno At Shiyu Sheshton Koltois Kachas. You need all 6. Why is it a get to today? L'chayr, the Mishnah is not telling us stuff that is not important to today or later on in generations. And they explain because if one of the 6, let's say Hebron, I hope not, but let's say Hebron, even Hebron is full of in the Arab section, gets destroyed, then all the other cities are no longer Ar Mikla. You need to bring one up online, one more, so you have a total of 6. Says the Mishnah, we give it to, when he runs away, the boy says, here goes. Oops, sorry. You bring 2 Talmid Chachamim, one guy runs backwards with his head on like an owl, and he's talking to the guy, that's what he's doing. He's trying to tell him, don't kill, again. You have the Goyal Adam, he's the guy with the sword. You have the sword. He wants to kill the guy with the yellow cap. So you have to try to convince him, don't kill him. The Rishonim say that you have to say af. Not the Chacham, but the guy that killed by mistake also tries to convince them out of it, don't kill me, don't kill me. This is the talking of the killer himself. They will bring, in the beginning, the guy that killed even deliberately, they would bring to the Ir Miklat. And Bezin would call him from there and then do a din Torah. Mishin is chayv misa bebezdin, and if in the Bezdin the Sanhedrin decided he's chayv misa or go, they would kill him. Mishalin is chayiv misa, but if he's not chayiv misa, patru, they would say he's patur. Mishin is chayiv golos magzino islim koimoy. Whoever the bezin decided is chayiv golos not misa, they bring him right back to the ir miklot shenem arvei shivu oisoya eida elir miklota. You bring him back. Says the Gemara, we're just going to learn 4 more lines. Torah Rabbanu Shalish Arim Hivdil Moshe Be'ever HaYarden U'Konegdom Hivdil Yeshua Be'eretz Canaan. So let's go back to that picture. Here it is. There's 3 in Eretz Yisrael and 3 in Chutz La'aretz. U'Konegdom Hivdil Yeshua Be'eretz Canaan. U'Mechuvanus Hayu Kimin Shtei Shur Shebakerem. And they were opposite each other like 2 rows in the vineyard. Kedesh. Chevron Yehuda connected Betzer Bamidbar. So if you go to the bottom, you see Chevron and Betzer, and then Shechem Bahar Ephraim connected Ramois Shebagilad. You see Shechem in the middle, and then Ramois is opposite it. Kedesh Bahar Naftali, and then on top you see Kedesh on the hills of Naftali. Connected Goylan Babashan, and that's opposite Goylan in Chutz La'aretz. Rabbi Sai Agut Moed. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day.